Alright, so the next step will be that we take the dough that has now proofed for 1 hour and roll it out into a large rectangle. So let's remember, we already rolled the butter to 20 by 17 centimeters. So now what we can do is to roll the dough out to either 40 length and 17 width, or we do 20 width and 34 lengths, which I will probably do just to keep it a bit more even. So get the dough. So the dough has proofed for 1 hour at room temperature. Looks like this now. So it definitely has increased in size. Some air inside. I will take it out on my table and I will now roll it to this size. I actually start by just pounding it down with my fingers a little bit, flipping it over. It's quite soft, so given the low hydration, it is actually quite soft and moist, for two reasons. One, there's a lot of butter inside the dough already, but also because of the yeast and the fermentation inside this covered bowl that also produces, I guess, some moisture, and yeah, that just settles on the surface. So I will now roll the dough, and I will try to roll diagonally so that the dough stays as rectangular as possible. I mean, it won't be perfect. And yeah, and as I said, like 20 width would be my goal. If that, doesn't match the natural size now, then I'll probably go with the other direction, which is actually what I have already. So I already have 40, and here I have 17. So I will do that instead. That just matches my butter size. It's the double of my butter. So I'm pretty much done actually. I mean, it's not perfect, but it's pretty even. And so what I now do is I wrap it in plastic or in this, and I will then roll it again and then make it perfectly rectangular. But of course it will also shrink a little bit, which is not too bad, because we will, before we do the lock-in, we can still make some corrections. I don't know, I mean, I think some people try to make this all like super perfect and measure everything, but I think in the end what matters is that the things fit together, and no matter what size, we can also improvise and work with it. So yeah, so I'll add the plastic wrap. I actually make it, just brush it out a little bit and then wrap it, or like I flip it and then wrap it. And probably we lost quite a few centimeters now, so we are down to 35. So I just wrap it a little bit loose on one end so that we can gain a bit more size. And wrap it on the sides as well. The sides are a bit more, or like the width is a bit more important. So 17, that's perfect. Because that's difficult to change later on. If that's too short and your butter too wide, then you have a problem. Or if that, I think that's the important part. That should match, and then the length. Again, we can easily roll it longer later on. All right, now I will just, now it's completely wrapped. Now I can roll it again and squeeze the dough into the corners and to all the parts where it isn't yet distributed nicely, nice and even. Alright, again, it doesn't have to be perfect, but the better you get it here, then the easier it will be later on for the lock-in. I also find it good to just also use your hands to, just press down, feel it a little bit. You can feel like irregularities on the dough. But alright, that's good to go. We're at 17 by 34. So it's definitely too short, but we will then later roll it when the dough is cold and has rusted in the fridge. So it's now 12. It's lunchtime. And yeah, I mean, we're super flexible on deciding when we want to continue. But I think I will then start at 6 or 7. I mean, again, the schedule depends a little bit when you usually want to go to sleep. We will need some time later for the rolling, maybe 1 hour. It's actually goes quite fast. But then the dough also needs to rest 1 hour in the fridge just to relax, and we need to do the final rolling. So at least 2 hours 15. Then we need to freeze the croissants for 1 hour about. So I mean, we will need 3 hours. So if we want to go to sleep at 10, we should start at 7 latest. We can always have a little bit earlier, but actually, yeah, best is if we can finish and then go straight to bed. That would be ideal, just from the timing perspective, because if you want to get 8 hours of sleep, then it works. If you want to have shorter sleep, then of course you can stretch everything out a little bit. All right, so I think I'll move this to the fridge now. So the butter sheet that we made 1 hour ago, that's already pretty stiff now. I will later show you how I conditioned the butter to prevent it from breaking. But that will happen later on. Basically now we're free. Now we can have lunch or do whatever we want for the rest of the day. We'll come back in the evening, probably cook some dinner, or like before cooking dinner we'll start to make the lock-in. I think that's usually how I do it. And then I can have dinner while the dough is resting, and then after dinner I usually do the second fold. Then there's at least 1 hour of not doing something. You can watch a movie or whatever. And even in the time when they're in the freezer, you can do your normal life. So yeah, suits very well into like a day where you are at home. I mean, you can also do this these steps early, but with the proofing it can become difficult. I mean, if you start really early, like you would do the dough at 6 or something and then proof it for 1 hour. Yeah, I mean, you could also do it before you start working or do your day job, whatever, and then just continue the rest in the evening. That should actually also work. But yeah, I usually do it on a day where I'm free, weekend, and then I can do it in the morning, relaxed, and then maybe I'm just finished at lunchtime, no problem. But I have the rest of the day free. Cool. Thanks. Let's continue later.